everybody. My name is Andy Pelletier. I've been an admissions consultant for almost 25 years. This will be my first of probably many YouTube videos. It's also the first YouTube video I've ever done. So as you can probably tell, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm also just finishing a move, so my office is also not really ready yet. I've worked with several major MBA consulting companies over the years. I've trained and mentored dozens of consultants. I've helped clients at these companies get back on track as part of a quality control role when they're dissatisfied with the work they were doing with their initial consultant. I've worked with countless reapplicants who applied previously with other consultants and had poor results. So I had a rare opportunity to gain perspective on how lots and lots of other consultants work, which is unusual because usually we just work at home by ourselves. It's been hugely valuable for me. Interview questions largely break down into two categories, basically list questions and story questions. Stanford interviews focus heavily on asking the most challenging story questions that they can come up with. And this video is going to be all about my approach and why I've been using it to help my clients prepare. Like the application process itself, these interviews are all about culture fit. Demonstrating culture fit means highlighting and telling your interpersonal skill set in a way that is consistent, of course, with Stanford's culture. Interpersonal skills are things like consensus building, mentoring, navigating difficult interpersonal interactions, overcoming team challenges. They're all empathy-driven skills. So given that we're trying to characterize and demonstrate the value of your interpersonal brand, the question then is, how do we tell these stories effectively? Like, what's the best way to take advantage of that opportunity that they're handing you to sell yourself as effectively as possible? So you've all heard about the STAR method. The STAR method stands for situation, task, action, result. And one of the most important things I'm here to tell you is don't use the STAR method. It's critically flawed. It will cripple your interview performance. So how does the STAR approach work? What is a STAR story? Let's just say, for example, it's about mentorship. It's chances are pretty good you'll get some mentorship related question in your Stanford interview. So start with situation. You're at some company. It's last year, last fall, last spring, something like that. You're working on some project. There's a team member who's not really performing that well. And whether you were asked to do it or you did it on your own, your task is to mentor them. And moving on to the A, you took these steps to mentor them. You had lunch, you explained stuff. Maybe you stayed late after work and explained some more stuff. Maybe you met over the weekend and explained some more stuff. Basically, you took these steps and you did things. And in the end, you have your result. They learned, they improved. Now they contribute more meaningfully to the team, right? That's your STAR story. So what's missing here? What's the key thing that's missing here? Given what we know about what Stanford wants and why they're having this interview process, the entire process of interviews for applicants in the first place. Well, what about the whole interpersonal part? What about the whole part where you use your empathy to figure out what this person actually needs when it comes to how you engage with others, how you listen to them, how you understand their perspective, how you adjust your approach to their specific needs? That's the whole question. That's the whole opportunity is to have that in your answer to this question. Sell your EQ, sell your interpersonal brand, show your culture fit with Stanford. You leave that out entirely. You do none of the above. Basically, it skips over everything that matters. The S and the T, they're not scoring you a single point. They're just set up. It's just what, when, where. The A and the R, they're not the heart of the story either. That's just closure. It's you wrapping things up, tying a bow around it. It's really hard to overstate just how perfectly inadequate this approach is, like in the sense that it gives you only kind of the scaffolding of the real answer and none of the real answer. I have an approach, as I mentioned. It has a really lame acronym. It's called SMODISH. SMODISH is setup, mission, obstacle, diagnosis, intent, steps you took, and happy ending. And if you want to make it even lamer, you could actually write the S and the H in lowercase, because at that point you're pretty much done. You're wrapping it up with a bow. The interviewer, they're checked out. They got what they wanted. You covered the important part. It's weird if you stop right there. So you have to kind of zip through the steps you took, and nice thing that happened at the end. But you're basically fast forwarding through that because pretty much you delivered the story you needed to deliver. An example. So mentorship story. So we have the setup, okay, same thing. Minimal essential context, what, when, where. We have this mission. This person is not performing the way we want them to. We need to help them. Same as task. We have an obstacle. They're trying to do a certain thing and it's not working. And we're looking at that from the outside, from far away. We see them trying to perform in a certain way, or trying to do a certain thing, master a certain concept, and it's not working. It's like we don't know why yet. We flip a switch and nothing happens. The light doesn't go on. We turn the key, the engine doesn't start. We have no idea why. Okay. Then we do our empathy loop, the all important, absolutely critical empathy loop, which is person's not learning. Who knows why? Well, let's find out. Let's have him out, take him out to dinner or something. Let's take her out to coffee. Talk about stuff other than work. Talk about our families. And along the way, what we figure out is, as we get to know each other, we figure out, okay, this person never had anyone that really believes in them before, or they're afraid of making mistakes. They don't want to do anything unless it's perfect. We uncover some through this empathy loop, putting ourselves in their heads and coming up with this insight. As a result of that, we come up with the underlying reason, what's really going on. That's our diagnosis. What's really going on beneath the surface? And now that we know what the cause is, what's really going on, the true nature of the problem, we can come up with a plan. That's our intent. So this person is afraid of making mistakes, and then therefore basically doesn't really want to try anything or take risks, and ends up just not really doing much. Well, now we know that. Great. Now our plan can be to teach them that mistakes are okay. It's an important part of learning. It's the main ingredient of progress. Or we show them, no one's ever believed in them before. They don't really have confidence. They feel like nothing they have to say is valuable or useful. So our intent, let's convince them that everything they have to say is not just valuable, it's necessary, it's essential. People need to hear their ideas. Let's put them in a room with one or two people, and they'll say something smart, and those people say, "Oh, wow, that's really smart." And then we walk around into some bigger audience and give them confidence along the way. Maybe we practice a little bit, and soon they realize that they have a lot to offer. They believe it, and they're able to perform at a much higher level. Those are the steps we take. But like I said, the steps, once you come up with a plan, the intent, this is what we want to achieve based on our new understanding of what's really happening beneath the surface. Once we have that, and we decide, okay, this is our approach. We're going to do it this way. The steps kind of just obvious. Like, it's obvious that you took steps to implement the plan that you have. The important thing is you have the plan. The important thing about the plan is that it came from this observation, this critical diagnosis you made about what's actually going on beneath the surface. And the important thing about that is that you used your empathy skills to figure out what that was. That's the story. That's the whole beating heart of the story. And it's everything, like I said, it's everything between the T and the A and star. The beating heart of the story basically exists from between the obstacle and the intent. So we figure, this is what we're observing. It doesn't work. We do our empathy loop. We figure out, this is what's really going on. This is why it's not working. Now I get it. And now that I understand, I think I'm going to do this. I have this plan. I'm going to approach it this way. And that's the story. That's the story right there. The rest of it is just a delivery device or wrap up window dressing for that core story. I think which is exactly what we need to demonstrate your interpersonal skills, to show you as a culture fit for Stanford. It's exactly what the interviewer is hoping you'll say. It's exactly what Stanford is looking for. The really one amazing thing about the STAR method is that pretty much everyone's still using it. Applicants, it's all they hear about. And so of course they practice it. Consultants, as far as I know, most of them, all of them, vast majority are teaching it to their clients. So in addition to telling a great story, giving the interviewer exactly what they're looking for, selling yourself as a Stanford culture fit, and showcasing your interpersonal skills by using Smodish, and basically giving them exactly the story that they invited you to tell them, that they're hoping that you'll include. You're aiming for a mark, a bullseye that no one else even knows about. They don't even seem to be aware of. They're just stuck in this dogma. There's a huge opportunity here to give them what they're looking for in the first place, and to differentiate yourself from everybody else who's not even trying to tell the story the right way, in the way that Stanford.com cares about. So I would just urge you to use Smodish, practice Smodish. You'll blow everyone out of the water who's still using STAR and skipping over everything that Stanford.com is looking for. So good luck practicing, and good luck with your interview.